Yoon Suk-yeol will not attend his first impeachment trial. Milanovic claims victory in second round of Croatian presidential election. Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for choosing World Today with me, Renee Fong. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, who is on a 3-day working visit to the United Arab Emirates, UAE, is scheduled to have an audience with the UAE Vice President and Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who is also ruler of Dubai. The meeting will be held today at the Za'abil Palace in Dubai, about 150 kilometers from Abu Dhabi. Is expected to focus on bolstering bilateral ties and exploring opportunities in renewable energy, food and energy security, artificial intelligence and data centers, as well as regional and global issues of mutual concern. Datuk Sri Anwar is also set to engage with UAE sovereign wealth funds. The one-on-one business meeting will start with Masdar Chief Executive Officer CEO Muhammad Jamil Al Ramahi, followed by Abu Dhabi Investment Authority Managing Director Sheikh Hamid bin Zayed Al Nahyan and Mubadala Managing Director and CEO Khaldun Khalifa Al Mubarak. The Prime Minister's visit is at the invitation of Sheikh Mohammed to attend the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. The special aircraft carrying the Prime Minister landed at the Abu Dhabi International Airport on Sunday at 9 p.m. local time. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol will be absent from the first impeachment trial hearing due to safety concerns. Yoon is under criminal investigation for insurrection over his botched attempt to impose martial law. Yoon's lawyer said the officials in the Corruption Investigation Office CIO and the police are trying to execute illegal and invalid arrest warrants through illegal methods, raising concerns about personal safety and mishaps. He added that in order for the president to appear for the trial, the issue of personal safety and security must be resolved. After being impeached on 14th December last year over his 3rd December martial law declaration, Yoon's presidential powers were suspended, but he remains in office, retaining his immunity from most charges except insurrection or treason. Criminal investigation for Yoon's failed attempt to impose martial law prompted the first arrest warrant in history for a sitting president. If formally arrested and convicted, Yoon faces prison or, at worst, death penalty. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum presented her 100-day government report in Mexico City's main square on Sunday, emphasizing key achievements in security and economic cooperation. Sheinbaum announced significant reductions in crime rates, including a 16% drop in homicides and a 20% decrease in firearm injuries.
Les informo que entre septiembre y diciembre de 2024 los homicidios dolosos disminuyeron en 16%, las lesiones dolosas por arma de fuego en 20% y todos los robos con violencia en 5%. Algunos quisieran que fracasáramos, se van a quedar con las ganas. La estrategia de seguridad va a funcionar porque hay humanismo, dedicación y honestidad.
The president praised Mexican workers in the United States as exceptional contributors to various sectors and reaffirmed her commitment to supporting Mexican migrants in the neighboring country. Sheinbaum highlighted the benefits of the trade agreement between Mexico, the U.S. and Canada, noting its role in job creation and economic integration. 100 days after her inauguration, she maintains an 80% approval rate, according to an Ancol El País poll. Croatian President Zoran Milanovic claimed victory in the second round of the country's presidential election on Sunday, setting him up for a second term in the largely ceremonial post. The outspoken Milanovic, backed by the left-wing opposition, won more than 49% of the vote in the contest's first round 2 weeks ago, narrowly missing an outright victory. Milanovic of the opposition Social Democratic Party was on track to win with 74.58% of votes. The vote count is based on results from 98.65% of polling stations. It was the highest score achieved by a presidential candidate since the former Yugoslav Republic's independence in 1991. His opponent, Dragan Primorac of the ruling Croatian Democratic Union, won 25.42%. Turnout in the NATO and European Union member state was 44.15% of the voters. Preliminary results showed the Croatian head of state cannot veto laws but has a say in foreign policy, defense and security matters, while the role of the president is largely ceremonial in Croatia. Milanovic's wide victory is the latest setback for the HDZ and Prime Minister Andrej Plenković, Milanovic's political arch-rival after a high-profile corruption affair in November. Foreign ministers and top diplomats from Western and West Asian countries met with Syria's new foreign minister in the Saudi capital Riyadh on Sunday at the first such regional meeting on Syria since President Bashar al-Assad was ousted last month. Foreign ministers from Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Bahrain, Iraq, Jordan, Lebanon and Turkey, plus envoys from the European Union and the United States were in attendance. The meeting is the first to include both Syria's new rulers and top Western officials and will be led by Saudi Arabia. It follows a meeting top diplomats from the US, United Kingdom, France, Germany and the European Union held on Syria in Rome on Thursday, and a landmark meeting Jordan hosted in December when regional players signalled concerns over Syria's new rulers and what they need to do to get international recognition. After 13 years of civil war, Syria's President Bashar al-Assad was ousted in a lightning offensive by forces led by Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS) a month ago. The group has since set up a caretaker government in Damascus. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó said on Sunday that Hungary plans to hold talks with regional allies to counter the impact of higher oil prices resulting from a new round of United States sanctions on Russia's oil and gas sector. He said lower crude oil supplies would lift demand for refined fuels such as petrol and diesel, raising the risk of what he called very serious price increases in the region. Hungary imports most of its crude oil via the Druzhba pipeline, which transports Russian crude through Belarus and Ukraine to Hungary and also Slovakia. US President Joe Biden's administration imposed its broadest package of sanctions so far, targeting Russia's oil and gas revenues on Friday to give Kiev and Donald Trump's incoming team leverage to reach deal for peace in Ukraine. Oil prices hit a 3-month high after the sanctions news broke. The US Treasury imposed sanctions on Russian companies Gazprom Neft and Sogod-Neftegaz that explore, produce and sell oil, and 183 vessels that have shipped Russian oil. Szijjártó said Hungary would start talks with regional allies to mitigate the hit to prices and the wider economy. Sudanese citizens of the key city of Wad Madani are seen celebrating on Sunday with members of the army after they took control of the city on Saturday from their rivals, the Rapid Support Forces. Sudan's army said it had entered the central city of Wad Madani, capital of El Gezira state, and was pushing out RSF, a step which, if completed successfully, would be its biggest gain in nearly 2 years of war. Recapture of the state as a whole could mark a turning point in the war that began in April 2023 over disputes on the integration of the two forces. This has created one of the world's largest humanitarian crises, with the displacement of more than 12 million people and half the population facing hunger. El Gezira state, located in the center of the country and south of the capital Khartoum, has seen some of the RSF's bloodiest attacks on civilians, as well as the burning of fields, looting of hospitals and markets, and flooding of irrigation ditches. Coming up, landslides in southeastern Brazil kill 10. Stay tuned.
With 79 years of experience and as the top platform for television and radio in Malaysia, RTM can indirectly help you and your business. Let us help you by promoting your product on our platforms today. Contact RTM for more information. Thanks for staying with us. All 8 crew members of the sunken Malaysia-registered tanker Silver Sincere were rescued by the Indonesia-registered freighter Intan Daya 368 in Singapore's territorial waters near Pedra Branca on Sunday. The Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore MPA said it had directed the Indonesian freighter to assist in rescuing the crew after the agency was alerted to a distress call at about 3:40 p.m. Sunday from Silver Sincere. In a statement, MPA said the master of the vessel had evacuated all the crew members from the sinking vessel. All crew are in healthy condition and will be disembarked at Batu Ampar, Indonesia. As part of the search and rescue efforts, MPA had deployed its craft alongside vessels from the Republic of Singapore Navy and the Singapore Police Coast Guard. The agency has also activated salvage tugs for the vessel recovery phase alongside an oil spill response craft as a precaution. A navigational safety advisory also issued for passing vessels to stay clear of the incident site. Navigational traffic in the Singapore Strait is not affected. Moving on to the U.S., where tens of thousands of people forced from their homes by enormous fires raking Los Angeles will not be able to return for at least until Thursday. Los Angeles County Fire Chief Anthony Marone said that gusting winds forecast this week mean the fire emergency is far from over. Frustrated evacuees have formed lines at checkpoints hoping to get into evacuation zones created for the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire. Many are desperate to get back to homes they had to flee with just a few moments' notice to pick up medicines or clothes they did not have a chance to grab. Others simply want to find out if their houses have survived. Lines were formed in several city blocks as people queuing for up to 11 hours for a short escorted visit to their home. in an evacuation zone. But even those escorted visits were stopped Sunday as firefighters were concerned about strengthening winds and their potential to reignite smoldering embers. Around 100,000 people remain under compulsory evacuation orders in multiple fire zones, down from a peak of 180,000 last week. Landslides caused by torrential rains in southeast Brazil have left at least 10 people dead. 9 people died in the city of Ipatinga, where 80 millimeters of rain fell in the space of 1 hour on Saturday night. Firefighters pulled the body of an 8-year-old boy from the rubble of a house destroyed by a landslide. Another landslide swept away everything in its path along a street on the side of a hill in the city's Bethania neighborhood. As of Sunday evening, 1 person from the area remained missing, though 4 members of the person's family were rescued. A body was also found in the nearby town of Santana do Paraíso. The Latin America's biggest country has been rocked by several extreme weather events over the past year. Massive floods caused by days of record-breaking rain killed more than 180 people in the south of the country in April and May last year. Paratroopers from Japan's Self-Defense Force JSDF jumped hundreds of meters from aircraft with their American counterparts on Sunday for their annual New Year's drills. Officially titled the New Year Jump, JSDF officials said the drill, which is held at the Narashino exercise area in central Japan's Funabashi, is the first Japan-US paratrooper exercise of 2025. The drill also involved paratroopers from other allies of Japan, including the Philippines and Canada. In addition to parachuting from military aircraft, paratroopers from JSDF's 1st Airborne Brigade also took part in combat drills, which included landing from tandem rotor helicopters. Japanese Defense Minister Jun Nakatami, who was present at the drills, also visited the JSDF's camp Narashino on Sunday morning.
第一空天団のですね、実力が分かったというか、非常に力強くですね、非常に能力の高い機敏に対応できるそういう部隊でありまして。これも日頃から大変厳しい訓練を行っていて、今日の訓練もその集大成であるわけでありまして、大変高い隊員の士気、それから技量を見せてくれたというふうに思っております。
In sports, 10-men Manchester United edge Arsenal in FA Cup fixture. Details after this. Starting off our sports segment this afternoon, 2025 Malaysia Open closed its curtain yesterday. The Super 1000 tournament saw Japanese pair Yuki Fukushima and Mayu Matsumoto lift the trophy in the women's pair category. In the final action at Axiata Arena in Bukit Jalil yesterday, the Japanese pair staged an unprecedented comeback to take down Jia Yifan and Zhang Shuxian from China. In the first set, the pair from China clearly dominated the game and built up enough momentum to seal the win with a 17-21 scoreline. However, Fukushima and Matsumoto raised their gameplay and went on to secure the second set 21-15. Japan kept their winning momentum going and kept on their aggression against Yi Fan and Shu Xian to seal the win 21-15 in 1 hour and 35 minutes. In the women's singles, South Korean An Se-young claimed the trophy after beating representative from China Wang Zhiyi. The world number 1 sailed to victory in straight sets 21-17 and 21-17 needing only just 45 minutes to put down Ziyi. Meanwhile, in mixed doubles, Thailand's Dechapol Puvara and Nukro and Supisara Peo and Sampra shocked the Axiata Arena with their win against the number one seeded pair from China, Feng Yanzhe and Huan Dongping. However, they had to use everything in their possession, having to play into rubber set before they could bag the win. Then in men's singles, China's Shi Yuqi lived up to the expectations after an easy win against Anders Antonsen 21-8 and 21-15 in the finals and claimed the singles title within just 39 minutes. Closing out the tournament, men's doubles from South Korea, Kim Win-ho and Seo Seong-jae celebrated a fairy tale ending to their first ever tournament together. The new 2025 Malaysia Open champions spent 1 hour and 4 minutes to defeat Chen Bo-young and Liu Yi in today's final, coming from behind to with a final result of 19-21 and 21-12 and 21-12. Atletico Madrid claimed a 1-0 home win over Osasuna on Sunday to move top of the La Liga standings thanks to a second-half goal from Julian Alvarez. Leaders Atletico Madrid secured their 14th consecutive victory across all competitions, a club record to reach 44 points, one ahead of second-placed Real Madrid. The hosts dominated the match from the start, and Antoine Griezmann should have put them in front in the 7th minute when he latched onto Nahuel Molina's cross and found the net, but the ball had struck his elbow and VAR ruled it out. Osasuna goalkeeper Sergio Herrera got down to deny Alvarez in the 12th and 36th minute, while a long-range shot from Osasuna midfielder Pablo Ibanez bounced off the woodwork. Atleti had around 60% possession in the first half and had several chances in the second, but struggled to convert that to goals before breaking the deadlock 10 minutes into the second half with a clever corner routine. Griezmann, taking the corner, played a 1-2 with Rodrigo de Paul before crossing to Clement Lenglet at the far post, who headed it down to Alvarez, and the Argentine calmly slotted a low shot from the centre of the 6-yard box into the net. In England, Joshua Zirkzee scored the winning penalty for 10-man Manchester United against Arsenal after their hectic FA Cup third round tie finished 1-1 in regular and extra time at the Emirates Stadium on Sunday. Arsenal's Kai Havertz was the only one of the first 4 penalty takers to miss, denied by a brilliant stop from Alte Bayindir before Zirkzee stepped up to win the shootout 5-3. After an underwhelming first half, United took the lead in the 52nd minute through Bruno Fernandes's curling effort from just inside the box after a great run by Alejandro Garnacho. The game turned on its head 10 minutes later, though, as United's Diogo Dalot, already booked for a wild challenge on Miles Lewis Skelly, received a second yellow card for a reckless tackle on Mikel Merino. 2 minutes later, Bayindir's poor attempted punch fell at the feet of Gabriel, whose shot took a wicked deflection off Matthijs de Ligt and in to put the Gunners in charge of the tie. Arsenal could have completed the comeback when they were awarded a questionable penalty after Havertz went down under minimal contact from Harry Maguire. But Bayindir produced a superb save from Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard before the Gunners spurned several chances to score a winner. The holders next host Leicester City in the 4th round in a return to Old Trafford for Ruud van Nistelrooy. In motorsport, Henk Lettigen's overall lead was slashed to 21 seconds as a roadbook note error caused many drivers at the front of the field to lose their bearings, forcing Dakar Rally organisers to erase any gains or losses for a 20-kilometre stretch during Sunday's Stage 7. South African Leitgan finished 15th in the 419km special in Al Duwadimi with his closest challenger in the overall standings. Local hero Yazid Al-Raji coming 7th to throw the championship battle wide open. Lucas Moraes, who lost nearly 3 hours on Saturday due to a shock absorber problem, bounced back to win the stage as Matthias Ekstrom finished second to remain third overall. Meanwhile, Daniel Sanders, the overall leader in the motorcycle category, made a late push to become the first rider to win 5 specials in a single Dakar race since fellow Australian Toby Price in 2016. The Red Bull KTM rider extended his overall lead to 15 minutes and 33 seconds over second place Tosha Skarena. Stage 8 of the Dakar Rally will take place on Monday.
Moving on to tennis, second seed Alexander Zverev barely needed to get out of third gear as the German cruised past Frenchman Lucas Pouille 6-4, 6-4 and 6-4 and into Australian Open second round on Sunday. Twice Grand Slam runner-up Zverev has made no secret of his ambition to lift a maiden major at Melbourne Park this year, and the 2024 semi-finalists hit the ground running.
An inside-out forehand winner secured the opening set, and the 27-year-old built a 3-1 lead in the next on the back of big hitting to lead. In other results, Kei Nishikori, a 4-times quarterfinalist at Melbourne Park, fought his way past Thiago Monteiro 4-6 and 6-7, 7-5, 6-2 and 6-3. The Japanese 35-year-old saved 2 match points in the third set against the Brazilian qualifier. Lebanese qualifier Hadi Habib broke new ground for the strife-torn nation as he beat China's Bu Yunqiao Kit 7-6, 6-4 and 7-6 to reach the second round. The world number 219 became his country's first player to win a men's singles main draw match at a Grand Slam in the professional era and soaked up wild cheers from a rowdy crowd packing the small terraces on court 13. In women's, Aryna Sabalenka began her Australian Open title defence with a display of power hitting to crush Sloane Stevens 6-3, 6-2 on Sunday. It was by no means peak Sabalenka, with the world number 1 broken twice by her American opponent in a wayward first set in the evening clash at Rod Laver Arena. The Belarusian steadied with the help of her polarizing forehand, though, to claim her 15th successive win at hard-court Grand Slams in 1 hour and 11 minutes. She will next play Spaniard Jessica Buzas Monero for a place in the third round. Sabalenka is aiming to become the first woman since Martina Hingis to win 3 consecutive titles at Melbourne Park. If she lifts the winners Daphne Akers Memorial Cup again, she will join a select group of Margaret Court, Yvonne Golagong, Steffi Graf, Monica Seles and Hingis as the only women to complete a 3-peat.
2 sets to 6-3.
And that wraps up our bulletin this afternoon. In our top story today, impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol to be absent from first hearing. Do join us again this evening at 8:30 p.m. on saluran Berita RTM and TV1. Alternatively, you can stream us online on RTM Click's website and mobile app. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I'm Renee Fong, wishing you a pleasant afternoon.